Eclipse LV1, LPR and exhaust valve maintenance. With the inline regulator removed, please see previous videos for information on how to do that. Want to remove the LPR and the exhaust valve. In order to do that, clamp your thumb through the trig guard, hold on to the LPR and the front cap, pull those into place, and then slide out tuning fork. This retains the two units at the front marker. Place that to one side and then gently release. You can then take out front cap, take out the LPR body. Now tip the marker forwards and we'll get out the exhaust valve and the LPR spring. One final part remaining inside is the LPR piston. Use some pointer pliers and slide that out. The LPR, can inspect the piston, clean that, clean the spring, place those to one side. Exhaust valve, to inspect the surface around here that seats against the valve guide. Make sure that's clean, 500 debris. Also worth at this point checking for excessive wear on the end of the exhaust valve. If you're struggling with velocity, then it's worth checking to see if the end of the exhaust valve has been worn down at all through action with a lever. This can happen after excessive number of shots, talking maybe 100,000 plus shots. You may see some wear on here and it starts to affect the valve lift and the velocity of the marker. Easiest way to tell is if there's still a large chamfer on the tip, then everything's good. If this chamfer is no longer visible and it just looks flat at the end with a square shoulder at the end, then it's a good time to replace the exhaust valve. Obviously any leaks down the barrel could be traced back to damage to the sealing face here around the exhaust valve. Obviously this is new, so it looks in good condition. Place that to one side. You can actually reattach that to the front cap. The LPR can also be opened to access the LPR reg seal. Use something on the flat front and place hex key through the holes. Use that to loosen off the body on the cap. Unscrew the two parts. Have the regulator, LPR regulator adjuster, regulator seal. Just want to make sure that the regulator seal nice and flat, unmarked at the end there. Also want to check inside number 8 inside here. Just like the main regulator, number 8 needs to be kept well lubricated. Again, some grease on the end of the hex key. Reattach 2 halves of the LPR. These two parts don't need to be tight, but it's just worth checking they are snug together. And then go ahead and start to reassemble the LPR and the exhaust valve assembly. Now we just need to rebuild and replace the LPR and the exhaust valve assembly. Take the LPR assembly first and apply some grease to the piston. Apply some grease to the 2 seals on the LPR body. We've already greased the internal number 8. We can rebuild this assembly. We can actually put a small amount of grease on the LPR stem as well, just to make sure. Rebuild assembly and install it in one go. slide everything into the lower chamber. You feel it has some spring in there. That done. Now slide in the exhaust valve and front cap assembly. What you don't want to be doing at this point is just dropping this into place. That will lead to the head of the exhaust valve hitting the valve guide inside the body and damaging it. It only takes a very small nick in the valve guide to cause a leak past the interface between the valve guide and exhaust valve. So what we want to do is assemble everything, balance everything on assembly here, and then hold everything horizontal and work it all into place. You feel it'll go all the way into a certain point there. Then, same way as we took it apart, we're going to clamp around here, squeeze it all together, and take the tuning fork, drop that back into place. It should be relatively loose. Then we release this, and that tightens this so it can't be removed. And that's the LPR and exhaust valve removal maintenance.